A warm welcome and thank you so much for being with us on Uctv. My name is Nora Osende and this is the Weekend Edition. On the Weekend Edition today we bring you a special discussion, and this discussion is about a fundraising initiative. The fundraising initiative is led by the Toro Archdiocese Development Association of the Laity. Now, if you have been in Bukedi Diocese or Bukedi region or the Eastern region, really, you have somewhere interface with St. Anthony Hospital. This is a very popular hospital from way back, and it's a hospital that has served so many people in the region and beyond the region, and it is a hospital that is the point of our discussion today. Now, the Toro Archdiocese Development Association of the Laity, or TADAL, is actually spearheading the fundraising of the refurbishment of St. Anthony Hospital. Now with me, I have two gentlemen in studio who have led this noble cause. I have Dr. Henry Nakaleto-Polot, who is the chairperson of TADAL. Thank you so much for coming.
Welcome. Thank you, Nora.
And I have Mr. Oburu Simon Peter, who is a finance advisor of TADAL. You're welcome, gentlemen.
Good evening, and nice being here.
Well, it's nice to have you here. It's we can't help but just talk about St. Anthony Hospital today. That is going to be our point of discussion, really. This is a hospital in Toro Archdiocese that has impacted so many people's lives. It has changed so many people's lives over the years. Countless numbers of people within Toro and beyond, really. And we just want to know, let me start with you, Dr. Henry. What does St. Anthony Hospital mean to the people of Toro Archdiocese? And why has TADAL taken the lead in this renovation?
Thank you, Nora, and again, good evening, viewers. Yes, you've almost said it all. Toro, St. Anthony Hospital in Toro is one of those, I mean, not even one, but one hospital that was known as a referral in Eastern Uganda. It's a church-founded hospital. It was only the second hospital in Toro town, but I will tell you that it served many and was where everybody thought would go to get the medical health care to the quality and standard that is required. How would I compare? I think I would compare the days then with, say, in Kampala here, which is between Mulago and in Zambia. That is the kind of comparison I could give. And it is really that hospital that serves very many people. Even now today, when you get TADAL, someone will say, I was born in St. Anthony. I was saved when I had an emergency in St. Anthony. So, if you listen to the chairman, Toro district, he would actually say Toro, St. Anthony was the referral. People would move from Toro Hospital to St. Anthony. Many times not the other way around, and after that could be evacuated if the situation worsens. So it is this one major hospital actually, not only within Toro or Bukedi, but almost from Jinja to Soroti that people really used to go to. So it's a very, very significant institution, a very important institution that would say would be attending to over 1 million people in that part of the country. But we know that today we are here talking about refurbishing it because its infrastructure and operational status has deteriorated for one reason or the other. So TADAL, as we used to say, Toro Archdiocese Development Association of the Laity, one of our key objectives is really to join the Archbishop, the office of the Archbishop in Toro, to participate in development initiatives of the Archdiocese. And at our inauguration, sometime way back in 2023, the Archbishop had a list of development projects he had in the Archdiocese. But the priority among his priorities was rehabilitating St. Anthony Hospital. And he said, look, I think this is the most urgent, and I think TADAL should get involved because he was already doing something. They were putting up the OPD and trying repairs with the little resources that could actually say TADAL. I think now with the team in Kampala, Mukono, Entebbe could now get together, mobilize from you, the people who are here, and friends and well-wishers, try to mobilize some resources that we can do some significant work to fix this hospital. So it is actually our first project that we're undertaking with the Archbishop supporting him. So that is why, as an association, we took that challenge, and here we are calling on everybody to come and join with us, and we raise funding required to restore this health facility.
Indeed, if it has the blessing of the Archbishop of the Archdiocese of Toro, His Grace Emmanuel Obo, then surely this is a project that has a blessing, and it's kick-starting in a very, very, energetic way, and we hope that the renovation of St. Anthony Hospital will actually be very successful. I just want to dig right into the finances, because we have the financial advisor here of the organization. And so how much money will be needed for this renovation in your perspective?
Yeah, thank you, Nora. Just like has been pointed out by my chairman here, the hospital has gone through a period of decay over the last so many years, either out of neglect or out of the insurgent that was in the east. So it is in such a dire state that needs a lot of our support. And that's why Tadal has come in. So when we looked at the medical equipment that are required for upgrade and new ones to be bought, we are looking at the surgical ward that is at the point of near collapse. We're looking at facilities for the nurses to stay in. Right now, in fact, the nurses are occupying one side of the theater, which is very dangerous for both themselves and the patients. The doctors don't have anywhere to stay, so even if you wanted to attract good medical doctors, we have nowhere to house them. So the job is quite enormous, and the requirement for the hospital right now to look what it should really be is at the tune of 1.6 billion. That's basically what we require to make the hospital, or at least to restore it to its former glory, to kickstart our provision of medical facility to the people of Eastern Uganda.
1.6 billion shillings. 1.6 billion shillings, you would say, can be actually something that can be done, especially when people come together and everyone gives in whatever they can. It is doable. Yeah, we just have to put our hands together and bring up that money, and we shall have back the glory days of St. Anthony Hospital. Really, I think 1.6 billion is really doable. I just want to know, do we have some priority areas in mind that you would want to start with exactly?
Yes, just like I did indicate, the hospital facilities has really been run down. Right now, we don't have any housing for the doctors. Even if a doctor wanted to come there on voluntary basis, we cannot house them. Two, the nurses don't have anywhere to stay, so that also needs an urgent attention. We need to rebuild the theater. The surgical theater is totally down. The hospital used to have a mortuary that's also run down. So those are the main priority areas that we need to start with before we go to the medical equipments. Okay. Because having all these medical equipments without the staff to run them is as good as building a castle in the air.
Exactly.
Yeah, so that's really our focal area for now. We need to, as Tadal, have these facilities in place so that we can attract the best doctors that we have in this country to at least come to Tororo and serve the people of the East.
I like the vision that Tadal has, really. It is a wonderful vision. I see where the inspiration is coming from and the blessing from the Archbishop. And I just want to come back to Dr. Henry. Dr. Henry, you are a member of Tadal, you reside within the Archdiocese, you have interacted. I mean, that is home to you. Mm-hmm. Just kindly give us what is some of your experience when it comes to St. Anthony Hospital that you feel, okay, this is an experience that has been heartbreaking to me. and you feel like because of this experience personally, St. Anthony deserves a renovation as soon as possible?
Yeah, thank you, Nora. As we said, walking into that hospital, I had an opportunity that I had my late sister worked there as a nurse in the early 90s, and seeing that hospital at that time and then looking at it now, you really say, no, something has got to be done. There is, people come even see in the video how these structures have really, there is no other word to say but to use are rotting away. The infrastructure is rotting away. But nonetheless, you find patients, people going there, they still have that faith, they still have that wish and feeling that they can get healed from this hospital. And when you see mothers delivering from not so very good place, and you see patients lying, and you look at the roof and it's really dilapidated, you feel no, because these people feel there is nowhere they can go. And indeed, not many people can go far away from Tororo. It is that near place they feel they can get the health care they do require. But also, that is my personal feeling that, you know, looking at the past and going today and seeing what it is, what it used to be and what is doing now, you feel it's a very bad situation. And yet, the population that needs healthcare is rising. The disease burden is increasing. We're getting a lot more of these emergencies, many of these difficult to treat diseases that require special attention. And not everybody can come up to Mulago, Zambia, or even go to Mbale, but even those ones are overwhelmed. So you find that this is a place that urgently needs to be renovated. Even picking from His Grace the Archbishop himself, the experience he had, he said for a few years he was there, he hadn't really known what is happening in St. Anthony until when he's going on his outing and old women walking up to him and say, Your Grace, our problem is the hospital, what is happening? Until he had to drive there and say, oh my God, we have to start immediately. So it is that kind of, when you go and say, this is a facility existing with so much potential, with people having a lot of faith and hope in it, and this is where we should be getting our health care. We feel when we are able still in these positions and we can mobilize, it is very urgent that we fix it, because I mean, and you know, Tororo is actually a transit town. So I recall, like when it became an issue around Masaka Road, when people said, no, I think we need to fix Chitovu Hospital, because whatever is happening on the road, people need emergencies. When somebody is in an emergency situation, you need first be stabilized before perhaps you evacuated to even a better facility. Tororo town is a transit to Kampala, to southern Sudan, to northern Uganda, and people get situations there. Apart from the local population in the wider eastern region, even those on transit. So all of us really feel, no, this institution should be fixed. And it is really urgent, because you see situations happening and say, no, we cannot continue watching when we can, and we see people suffering, lives being lost. Even as even the church itself, with the clergy who get medical challenges, they need attention, and you can't, it is difficult to be, let's always go to Zambia, and it's very costly. So we think it's a very urgent activity to undertake, and to have this institution restored, to provide even better health services than even to used to do before.
It is a very urgent initiative, really, according to what you're saying, and according to the experience of so many people that are interfacing right now, interacting with St. Anthony Hospital. Personally, I've known of people who have referred to St. Anthony for specialization or specialized care, you know, optics and different kind of thing. And it is sad right now to see that all that is, you know, turning to rubble in a sense. And so the urgency is really, really needed, not just for the people there, but for even people beyond. Like you said, it's a transit area, and it's very, very urgent. I want to go back to Mr. Buru, who is finance manager. You could just tell us a little bit, just break down this course a little bit for us, you know. and tell us where will every shilling go and how will it directly impact patient care, if you don't mind.
Yeah, thank you. Just like I did indicate, the infrastructure of the hospital is totally in a very sorry state. We need to put up the hostels for the nurses that were valued at about 245 million Uganda shillings. We need to have the facilities for the doctors fully, not even renovated. We need to put a new building for the doctors, coming to a cost of about 300 million Uganda shillings. Then we need to have the theatre building also put in place. That is valued at about 300 million. Yeah. And then all the other facilities that will enable the medical staff to operate in. After that, of course, we need to have the medical equipments. We need to have an X-ray center put in place with an X-ray fully operational. That's valued at about 150 million. Then we have the incinerator that needs to be rehabilitated and put back into a functional state. It's valued at about 130 million. So all these things now put together is what we have put at about 1.6 billion, as earlier mentioned. Yeah, so it's a whole lot of activities to be done in both infrastructure and equipment for the hospital. Yeah.
And Nora, of course, we have to be grateful to National Housing and Construction Corporation, who, through one of our members, they were able to offer us engineers who went to assess the state of this infrastructure and gave us that a bill of quantity. So we're really grateful because it was a professional done job. So we have a report, and that is what is even guiding our fundraising drive. Whoever we're inviting, we're showing these costs as given by the engineers from the National Housing and Construction Corporation, to whom we are really grateful because they did it at no cost. They spent their money to do that, or to support us to get that BOQ. I think we're very grateful. So the costs are really well done. We trust because they're professional engineers that did them to give us that cost for restoration of that infrastructure.
It kind of just gives you a glimpse of the power of synergies and coming together for a noble cause. I just like it also how you've just broken down the details of the monies, having specifications of where exactly this amount will be going to and what it will do. I think that is very orderly and organized, and people can really have trust that whatever they're giving it in, it's surely going for this very noble cause. Dr. Henry, tell us exactly, what do you think is at stake if this is not done urgently?
Oh, people's health is at stake. As we say, the burden is already so huge. People are wandering left, right, and center, and they're in a state of really hopelessness. And if we don't do it, that means, because what we are doing now is really, for most of the buildings, we are rehabilitating. But for many of them, the roofs have to be replaced completely. But the walls, the engineers checked and said the integrity is still, they are strong walls. But any delay to replace, brings the people to become more hopeless, and this infrastructure may further decay. The extent of even the cost of putting it up will be more expensive. But of course, we now know that there will be that frustration where people cannot get healthcare services. It will be more costly even for you and me who are having relatives up there, because we are always forced to transport them to Kampala, even when it would have been cheaper looking after them from there. But even then, God forbid, but it happens that without this hospital, we always have these emergencies, and when somebody's condition is not fast stabilized from there, many know that is good, but many have sometimes you reach Mabira and they say, well, the person has rested. And it is not that people will not die, but at least there is that consolation you receive that we tried our best, so that even if the person passes on, you are comforted that you tried your best, so the rest was for God, rather than saying, oh, I wish, I wish, I wish. So there is that call. It's really urgent that people, we need to restore this facility to provide the health services. It's already difficult enough that we can't wait. So people's hope for healing is at stake.
And that is a very important thing, really, because life is everything, really, when you look at it. Without life, then we have nothing. And that just gives us the essence of this noble cause that we are in. It's not just about money and collecting, money for the hospital. It's more about the life there, because when we talk about life, it's not just numbers. We're talking about someone's parents, someone's grandparents,
Absolutely.
someone's son, someone's daughter, that could have been an aunt, you understand. And so it is very important when we don't just look at it at numbers, but go into the person as they are. And I just want to go back to Mr. Buru. You do have strategies to making sure that actually you hit the target of the funds that are needed. Just highlight a little bit of what strategies are in place so far to make sure that we get this money.
Okay. Now, as you know, Tadal was actually inaugurated about 2 years ago by His Grace the Archbishop. And like Dr. said, he gave us St. Anthony's as our flagship project that we should really deliver to the people of Tororo and beyond. And we immediately began the process of trying to mobilize, first of all, within ourselves. I really want to thank the community of Tadal, because every other time that we have called them to come and give, they have really given. Through our monthly masses, we do make some collections. That has always gone to our kitty as Tadal to help us build on the capital base. That has been our first source of income so far. The second is we've tried to reach government. At the time when Tadal was inaugurated, we invited the person of the vice president, and she sent in a representative, and were gladly gifted with 60 million shillings from the office of the vice president, to which we are really very, very grateful. Beyond that, we have reached individuals like you and others who have also contributed towards this cause, who have mobilized for a dinner party. For a dinner fundraising, not a party, sorry. For a dinner fundraising that's going to take place on 10th of this month at Hotel Africana. We reached out to the office of the Speaker of the Ugandan Parliament, the Right Honorable Anita Moore, and she graciously accepted to be our chief guest. So we have had all this goodwill to have money collected towards the renovation of St. Anthony's, to make it, to put it back to its former glory. So members of Tadal and other well-wishers who have reached them, National Water, for example, who have reached them, and we are really grateful that they've responded in a good way. Centenary Bank, National Social Security Fund, and many others that I may not really mention here. But people out there have seen the need for this call. People have responded, and we are very grateful. That's so far so good. We therefore call upon the entire community coming from Tororo, Archdiocese and beyond to respond to our call and turn up on 10th of this month at Hotel Africana and grace the occasion to help us realize the 1.6 billion shillings that we require.
That is a very, very good strategies actually that have been placed to make sure that the target is met. I believe the target will be met. I just want to understand, what are some of the things you put in place for transparency when initiatives like this come up, initiatives of fundraising? People actually are confident that whatever money they're putting in is actually put into well use, but they can also, track their donations. Tell me a little more about that.
Yeah, Tadal is basically an initiative of His Grace the Archbishop of Tororo. And we have in place a well-structured association under the flagship of TADAL. We have a chairperson who runs, who is our overall administrator. And then we have a line of officials that do monitor the day-to-day running of TADAL. TADAL has established a bank account for all the proceeds that come in, either donations from members, donations from government, donations from any organization that we approach. All the monies is put in our TADAL account with Centenary Bank. We also have a monthly, our monthly masses at Bugolobi, where we normally declare whatever proceeds that we get from such masses and from outside another collection that comes in. And we have our annual AGM every end of year, where we go through the finances and account to the people. And we also give the same report to the Archbishop of Tororo. We also have a transparent and orderly way of transfer of power. Every other 2 years, we have new leadership in place. In fact, he's doing his second term. So the process of accountability is really catered for within our constitution. There is not a single penny that moves away from our account without his knowledge, without my knowledge, without the blessing of the Archbishop of the Archdiocese of Tororo. So members of the community should really be very confident that whatever monies that they're giving in to TADAL for the whatever project that we undertake on behalf of the Archdiocese is safe and fully accounted for.
Now that has given someone out there a lot of confidence, because it seems like there's a lot of order and a lot of transparency and a lot of structure, really. And then there's a lot of accountability to one another. It's not just a one-man person or two-man person, but there is a system and a chain of command there. And I think that is very important for people really to have that confidence in knowing that whatever they're giving into the system or the people who they've entrusted to are actually doing, or it's what there is a system in place. I just want to talk to Dr. here, and now that you're in your second term, like we've been told,
yes.
Second term, yes. A project of this magnitude is really huge and very complex, has so many layers to it. So many levels. I just need to understand. Tell us a little bit of the challenges that you've encountered so far in regards to the fundraising of St. Anthony Hospital, and how are you going about, taking away these challenges?
Well, Nora, the challenges, I should say, is our challenge, just like my colleague has said, is just about mobilization. You know, Kampala is a small, very manipul, but reaching out to everybody, people are so busy. People are so busy, even us ourselves who are running the organization, they limited the time. And you find that, you see, time is running out, and will people come? Are people getting to know what we are doing? Are they getting to accept? Are we able to reach the people we need? So you find that is really the basic challenge, because fundraising is about you getting people coming and people willing to sacrifice a bit of the money to raise the money that we really need. So reaching out to people is really a challenge. Also the issue of harmonizing the time for, say, the venue and when it should happen and when to get the guest of honor. Those are the organizational challenges which have been there. But I must say, trust the people, the committee, the team of TADAL, the commitment people have. They really put away time and come. And of course, to reach out, we have had to get to a number of officials and, engage people. And through many ways, even going into the now, like now we're here, we're talking to people, really get them aware of what is to happen and for them to come, and also through other media, sending messages, sending emails, delivering letters We have also had people who have sacrificed, young men and women after that, going from office to office to really get people. And also sometimes I may know that I know, but I need again to know somebody who knows Nora better, and say, please go and talk to Nora, and let Nora also talk to another person. So I think that is how we've been able to really get everybody to cover people to come. But I should say it has taken a bit of a while since we started this initiative to organize this fundraising. Of course, I've had to reschedule about once or twice, because we have to get a period where all our senior people we need are there, also like His Grace the Archbishop, the guest of honor, and also other people whom we think they need to be present. And for us, even now as we talk, His Grace is out of the country, but his heart is here, and he's making sure he's going to be present with us on that day of the fundraising. So he must be packing his bags, coming home. And of course, as we say, the issue of, later on when you interact with the people some have some experiences with the hospital, not really with the hospital, but how the hospital is managed. Others will say, others will just say, but the hospital is charging money. Where has the money gone? Why should we fundraise? Others have an issue that maybe there was no transparency some time back in the management, there was no clarity, and that's what brought about the deterioration of the state of the mismanagement, to say. And so getting people to get their trust back and say, no, let's forget about what passed. The issue is this institution is needed. And so talking to people in that way, find many people are coming back and saying, okay, let's come together and rebuild and see that we rebuild this institution. So there shouldn't be any other challenge we can say, but it's about mobilization and getting people together. And now that we think 10th April, that is next week, is now an appropriate time, and everybody will come. And of course in Kampala, as we said, we are so dispersed, even our communities, getting them to know, even the Catholics alone, the Catholic laity, because of right from Matuga to Mukono, Njeru, then Entebbe, people are so dispersed. And must admit, while people in Kampala transport is easy, but people are not be able to be as mobile as we think they can because of the cost of movement, the time, and so on. But it's taken a bit of time. People are coming to accept. And as we say, Tororo Archdiocese is what the late Archbishop said is a multicultural mosaic. We are very many, and getting those people to come together, it takes some effort. But I'm very glad that people are really coming together. So these challenges get lighter, because what is important is for us to really come together. So I think I see not challenges now, but more opportunities, that when people come, even after this fundraising, we are going to see a strong association, a stronger community that is going to be able to do more, because there's a lot more to do for our sub-region and for our church back home, or even ourselves within here in the center.
I like the fact that you're now looking at it as opportunities amidst the challenges. It's still quite a lot of work to be done, really, especially when it comes to the mindset change and changing attitude, because that's one thing that really takes a while. But we believe with the right, just like you've said, it is an opportunity, really. And I just want to hear from Ms. Oburu. Do you have the same challenge, or you may have something a little bit different in regards to fundraising and the monies?
I think for me, I will look at the opportunity that the doctor ended with.
Yes.
Because this, the building of St. Anthony's Hospital has really given us an opportunity to meet various people. Okay? We have gone to the office of the Vice President. Now we are a cardinal name there. You go to the Speaker's office, they are expecting Tadal. You come to the Catholic TV, we are being hosted. So it has really made us have that opportunity to reach out. So networking has been key for us to realize our objective. Of course, people tell you times are not good, but when is time ever good for money anyway? So those are some of the challenges that we have, but we also really appreciate there's so many lay apostolate out there, Christians and non-Christians, who have, you approach one person and he says, I cannot afford the dinner, but I'll give you 50,000, here it is. So those fellows are also a handful of them, and we really appreciate. So those are the opportunities that we have really seen that came amidst these challenges. Of course, the other one, which like doctors clearly pointed out, Tadal, though structured, does not have any permanent employee as such. So we are all volunteers. If you find getting people to do this and the other is quite a challenge. But we really appreciate those who have given themselves for this cause. And it has given us an opportunity to gel and come together. So far, so good.
So far, so good, really. The opportunities are enormous, and every experience is actually really good in the process of this fundraising initiative. I just want to understand, does it ever cross your mind, Mr. Buru, that what if we do not make this 1.6 billion? What happens?
Let me first say that by the grace of God, I hope it won't happen. But back to the question, what would happen if we don't realize the money? I think Doctor has been very elaborate on that. The first focal point here is our people down there. If you come from Eastern Uganda, be it Soroti, be it Mbale, be it Toro itself, the poverty levels speak for itself. People need something that they can afford, something within their vicinity that they can easily reach. And that's why we are struggling so much to ensure that, this facility is up and running. So should the money not be realized, definitely, I'm looking at the poor, vulnerable people down in the villages who will have nowhere to fall back to.
Right.
You look at a situation where the other day I was in the village, and you have a woman on maternity. She has not even the basic 5,000 to even hire a border, leave alone an ambulance take to the hospital. So
I think, Nora, the real thing that at least we're going to realize some money. So it's always like when you're looking at a glass of water and it's not full, I don't look at it as half empty. I look at it as half full. And then how to make it full can follow up thereafter. I'm quite sure we should be able to fix something from this effort. Already from what we have been doing, what we have already from the people who have already contributed can do something. But we want to try this so that we can do a bit more. But whatever we get, we'll really be appreciating. And then that will give us an opportunity. How do we go forward?
Now that I'm still, you have passed the baton to the chairman. Chairman, you could just elaborate more about the fundraising event. What activities are planned and what should we expect?
Oh, thank you, Nora. Yeah, the whole issue about the fundraising, and the only activity going to be there is fundraising. So we're going to have the fundraising dinner on Thursday, the 10th of April, 2025. We shall be in Hotel Africana, and it will start at 6 p.m. So when people should have left work, and we come and raise money. And the cards are out on sale. For an individual is 200,000 per head. What we set is also speaking to what we expect to raise. So 200,000 per head for a card to enter in there. And for a corporate table, the cost of 2 million shillings. And of course that what you pay will get us for you to come to the venue and have a bite or a drink, not the hard drink, the water or a soda. That will cater for that, and then the balance of what will come will be taken as for to rehabilitate the hospital. So that will be that, and we're expecting anywhere in the range of 300 to 400 guests who should come and give us money. And as I say, the guest of honor is the Right Honorable Anita Among, the Speaker of the Parliament of Uganda, who will come to be the chief fundraiser. And the chief fundraiser is coming to oversee the fundraising, not coming to donate money. It's coming to oversee the fundraising. So it's coming to cheer us up as we raise the money. So we really expect that whatever it means, it's time for us to sacrifice what we can for the good of this hospital, because this hospital is for us. It is for you and me, all of us. We do not know. It is really for the community. So we shall be there, and we shall meet to have a brief program, because at 6 is a working day. People will come from office or business places. They'll be tired. So it should be a brief program. And there will not be many speeches. It will really be welcome. We shall see. People will come and have a chance to see a documentary of this hospital we are talking about. You will see somewhere where it's good, somewhere it is bad. Where it is good is what we need to strengthen. Where it is bad is what we need to fix. So there will be that, and then the chief fundraiser will be taking us through raising money. So it is basically fundraising. It's basically fundraising. Then, of course, thereafter we can have the dinner, and that will be the program.
Yeah, I know that the experience that people should really not miss is the synergy and network that this occasion provides for all of them. That's why we're really urging people out there to come. How many times are we going to find the occasion to rub shoulders with over 6 ministers and the Speaker of the Ugandan Parliament? So it's really an opportunity for us to network, and we really look forward to many of you people coming up for the event.
It is really a very big opportunity for such a very noble cause, actually. There's so many opportunities that have availed with this initiative, with this project, including networking, including, being there for a community. I just need to if Mr. Burrow, if someone feels like that donation is too little to make it, to be worthwhile, what would you say to this person? Because someone may shy away from it, and they all feel like, oh, I don't think mine will make a difference. What would you say to that person?
I'm very glad this is a Christian initiative undertaken by the Archdiocese of Toronto. And the Bible gives us a reference of that lady who gave the only 2 cents that in the Bible that she had. And Jesus singled that as the biggest contribution that was made for the day. There is nothing too small and nothing too big to build this institution. We are actually open to all members of the community, mainly hailing from the eastern district of Tororo, Mbale and Soroti, and beyond, to respond in whatever fashion and way that they can. Like I did say, the people have given us 50,000, well knowing the dinner card goes for 200,000, like Doctor said. There are people who have called and said, what can I do? There are many out there. So it's the drive behind the undertaking that is motivating them to give. So I really see not anyone saying he has so little to give, but he is so willing to associate with the project that we're undertaking. I think this has been the driving force for those of us who have contributed.
That's very nice. Talking about contribution, someone out there may be watching and they say, okay, I want to put in my contribution. What are some of the channels that a person could use out there to channel in their contribution without necessarily having to look for Mr. Burrow or the chairman?
Yeah, thanks, Nora. We, like I did say, we have quite a structured organization. We have been putting out messages out there on ways of how to reach us and how to make your contribution. We have a bank account with Centenary Bank that has been going on the flyers, that the account number and everything is readily available there. So you can actually go and deposit money with the Tadal account in Centenary Bank. We also have the telephone number of our treasurer, that is out there for members to make contribution, and she normally gives us updates. We also have a MOM account where monies can be sent. So those are the channels that we really have been using to reach out to people and to make contribution. We have avoided a situation where, you know, they hand out to chairman, hand out to the finance person, and then at the end of it all, accountability becomes an issue. So we have that pool that, you know, is for all of us, and for accountability purpose, those are the channels that we're using.
Dr. Henry, the fundraising initiative is a very big project that TADAL has undertaken. So far, so good. As we await for 10th of April at 6 p.m. really, it will be like, you know, the grand. But it will not be the end really of the fundraising, isn't it?
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
Sure.
But that really tells us so much about the power of when the laity come together, when community comes together. Elaborate a little more about your experience with this specific initiative or this project. Well, how has it come out to you with power of coming together as a laity?
No, you've already said the power of coming together. It's such an important thing. I'm saying, you know, for many times individually, many of us come from the local churches, the local parishes, and there are times when many of us individuals try to support either our sub-parish in the village or the local parish, but you find it is heavy. It is quite heavy. And the experience of now coming together as TADAL here, already there is a lot we can do. And just even before we came to the fundraising, we tried to say, okay, we're always having, say, ordinations back home. And you know, our sons who get to the seminaries, many really come from simple, humble backgrounds. And you know, getting many of these liturgical items that they require for their office will be a challenge. But you'll find that the time we came together, it has been easy that every year we are able to support each new priest with all the vestments, the mass kit. And so you find alone as a Polot, I couldn't do it. Maybe Simon alone couldn't do it, but you find that coming together, we have been able to do that. And now we are able to take on this challenge because now coming together as the laity, we can do a lot more. And because coming together, we find that we have known that we are so many, first of all, people for Tororo, we are very many. But then people from Tororo are also placed in different places. And they also get to know very many other people. So this has synergized all these kind of efforts, and we've come together, and you can imagine taking on now more than $1 billion fundraising requirement. That means we are now showing that that the strength has come out and that we can do it. We can do it for as long as we just get together, because once you're together, that is even where everybody says, I think these people are organized. And we promise you that this resource will come. I don't want to say what somebody said one time about Mapera House, that, you know, when Catholics mean to do something, it will happen. But more so when you come together, and then in that togetherness, there is mutual respect for one another, you love one another, you listen to one another, then there is that transparency and accountability. Then you really reap a lot more from this coming together. And I think this association has just met the right objective of bringing together people from Tororo. And we have a record to show, because even forming of these associations, actually Tororo Diocese then started way back in 1998 when we were animating in Namgongo. And then again in 2008,
yeah,
when we were again the Tororo Diocese animated. It made such a huge record. The power of the laity coming together cannot be underestimated. And this should only now be a revival for us to move forward more strongly. Other archdioceses could be ahead of us, but where we've started very strongly, on a very strong footing, and gives a lot of hope that for whatever challenges we have, we shall overcome and we shall continue coming together. Even now when we are still having more invitations because you keep on snowballing, knowing one more person. So it's just amazing that once you come together, you get to know that you actually have the power to do a lot more. So you just say the power of coming together as the laity is a landmark and it will enable us to do a lot more, and more so remembering that we can now move as a big team and make impact back home. Because here where we are, we are doing a lot. But as we do a lot, we also now remind that we need to do, because we shall eventually end there. So that togetherness is very, very critical, and I really want to appreciate how people have responded.
That is something really, the power of getting together and doing things together. I want to stay with you. Jet our imagination, our mind into a St. Anthony hospital that you envision to walk into when the renovation is done. How do you think that will look like?
Well, that should be very refreshing. You know, I want to be, even when I'm in Tororo, not that somebody else, but I should be there confident that if there's anything that will happen, this facility is here and everything I need will be handled within this facility. Where you go, I know that, you know, even somebody say that, you know, St. Anthony, what people want to see is you want to enter and get that reception with a Christian touch, where you feel that, you know, somebody comes with a smile alone, you know, the healing begins, that, you know, I'm being received into a health facility where I'm going to be taken care of. So where people will go and have that confidence. You know, sometimes the cost is not really the issue, but the service you get is what will count. So I want to really look forward and say, this is a place where we shall go, almost a one-stop center where people go and get health services. And with all this network of health centers that the Archdiocese has in the different parishes, we should now be building that system whereby now St. Anthony is the referral. From Palisa, from Bujitibwa in the Elgon, from Busia, from those health facilities, they should be seeing St. Anthony is a referral, and you don't want to worry to, again, traveling a distance. So this is the place where we want to, with the modern facilities, whether it is X-ray, whether it's a CT scan, whether it's an operation, whether, I mean, because we're even moving more away from worrying about malaria, but worrying about these non-communicable diseases. So we need to be building up so that people are talking about cancer screening, talking about the heart issues. We should be having this. This is what I really envision, to have a modern, comprehensive health facility that you go with the confidence that whichever ailment you have will be addressed to. And then, when it is really that should be a special issue, then we think of getting evacuated from there. So I should be confident of that, so that I know my relative, my sister, everybody who needs health care should be walking into there and say, and when they come out and they say, yes, this hospital works. That is, the hospital works.
Right.
And they should be having that confidence, so that we know we need to bring back. Because many people look back with nostalgia and saying, this hospital. We want to bring back and give people hope. People have hope and confidence in this facility.
Hope and confidence in this facility. That is a very powerful way of looking at it, really. Mr. Buru actually jetted our minds a little bit into what he would like to see when St. Anthony is done in regards to your funds, where the funds are going. We could already see. Is there anything else that you'd want to see, really? And besides that, if you encountered a struggling patient right now, what message would you give to them about the fundraising that is ongoing?
The message is a message of hope.
Yes.
And that hope is, you know, we do feel the pain of these patients down in the rural areas of Tororo and beyond. And the message of hope should really pass to all of them. Because, like Dr. said, we have basically sat and looked at all the requirements that the hospital needs to get back to its former glory. And this fundraising that we're going into is driven into addressing those challenges that the hospital currently has. We are quite hopeful that I can now look at the eyes of most of our patients and tell them that, you know what, it's a question of time. And that question of time is not only about Tadal, it's about all of us. So I will call all of them to get involved so that we address and begin with, we begin with the basic. We have the basic in place so that we, you know, once you walk in that hospital, you know you're walking in sick and you'll come out alive. That's the most important thing that we need to see. It hurts us most times, you know, most of our priests end up in Zambia, in Rubaga. It's not a bad thing to do. It's also our facility. But the first point of address should be St. Anthony's Hospital. So we really look with a lot of hope to addressing those challenges.
And even as we raise the money, people should, because people are thinking, when you raise the money, how will it be managed? How will the... I think Tadal is, comprises of many professionals. People who have been senior in many organizations, managers in whatever fields they have. And the assurance we give is that we shall not stop at just raising money, but working with the Archbishop, we shall still also work towards seeing that the hospital is managed well. I think it's all our interest. If it is because we have received complaints of the past that, you know, sometimes there's an issue of fitting square pegs in round holes. I mean, that's some of the things that bring about mistrust and people losing hope in a facility. So we're saying, as we go on fundraising the money, we shall still also be engaging with the Archdiocese, the office of the Archbishop, to ensure that what we put in brings the results. And the results is about the human work around the hospital, how it is managed, how people are treated. So all that, because as we say, there are people here who should be able to collaborate with the Archdiocese to see that things are done in the right way and we don't again retrogress to what is not desired. So it is a long-term engagement.
Yeah, long-term engagement. I just want to hear from Mr. Buru. What do you think this will mean to the future of the healthcare of the region, especially in the Toro Archdiocese? Once it's all done, really. We're looking ahead in the future. We are really looking
to a nice experience in as far as health services are concerned. Once we address the current challenges of the hospital, we want to walk into that hospital and you know the first thing you're going to be diagnosed with what you're suffering from and it's going to be attended to. The next stage of your medical requirements should be attended to in that place. So it's really a walk in the park where we need a facility that everyone will go confidently knowing I invested in this facility, I'm proud of it, and I'm getting the results. So once we've addressed all the challenges of infrastructure, medical equipment, and like Doctor is saying, administration, and the rest of it, then the lay apostolate will stand shoulder high and say, you know what, let us now get involved in the day-to-day running of the hospital so that it's our thing. The issue of cost has always been mentioned by many of the patients that go to that hospital. So those are some of the issues that this intervention is going to address so that people know the place is cost-friendly, the place has all that you require, and once you go there, it's quite an experience to talk about. Yeah.
Dr. Henry, your final remarks on the fundraising and your last call to someone out there as we wind up.
Yeah, thank you, Nora. It's really to say we're looking forward to a good response from people and we're very hopeful, and of course, you know, And this year is a year, the year of hope. You know, we are pilgrims of hope. So we are hopeful that people will really come, and I really, even those who have not yet received our invites, I'm quite sure they're going to receive before that day, but they should already be preparing to come. But I already want to thank those who have already reached out to us, who have already made contributions, but they're not tiring to Centenary Bank, National Housing, National Water, NSSF, and many individuals who have made contributions, and they are now mobilizing again for this fundraising. So I'm very hopeful that we shall have a very successful fundraiser that will help us to give cover a good milestone in the refurbishment of this hospital. We want to be grateful to the Office of the Vice President that preside over the launch of this fundraising in September 2023 and gave us that initial capital of 60 million. It was really great. It was really great, and we want to thank the Archbishop for his untiring, Archbishop Dr. Emmanuel Obo for Tororo Archdiocese, for his untiring interest and really giving us encouragement that we can push and do something for this hospital. And all those who have participated, and we are so grateful already in advance to the Office of the Speaker, because she's not just coming to preside over the fundraising. In one way, she has actually decided to host the fundraising. The Office of the Speaker is hosting us in Hotel Africana, and then they're doing a lot of mobilization. I mean, you know, this is that when you have a person who is having a humane heart, a heart for humanity, will go out of her way or out of his way to make sure that something is achieved. And we really thank her and her team for that preparation. And for everybody, the team in Tadal, I mean, they're not sleeping. People are too busy, but it has been a full-time job to make sure we organize for this fundraising. So I'm really praying and asking everybody out there to really come. And thank you, UCTV, for always taking us out, relaying our message out there, our masses, or this communication that we give. And thanks to you, and also thanks to the communication department with the Father D, who appears to be a chaplain. I mean, you can't get a team that is working so amicably, harmoniously, everybody being supportive. And me as a chairman, I'm actually a figurehead. People are running and I just watch. And I really want to thank God for that spirit, because a volunteering and a commitment, a lot of sacrifice, not only of time but also their personal resources to make the things that we give back to society for the good of humanity and the glory of God, who has all given us these abilities, these opportunities, where He has placed us. So we have to be grateful and try to support and do what we can to give glory to His name, really, by doing what is necessary as part of our vocation in what we do. So I really want to appreciate everybody, and I'm quite sure we're going to do a lot. And my plea that let us come, because as we say, the Speaker has prepared space for us. Let's fill up that space. Let's fill up that space and raise this money. And because this is the hospital, as is the Eastern, but as I say, health, you don't know where it defines you, issues, don't know, the hospital for everybody. It's not a church that you not go to pray there. It is not denominational. It is for us all, and for human beings. It's a patient, for all patients of all kinds. So we need to fix this facility as one of the things, as you said. It will become again that icon that it used to be. So that you talk about referral, you talk about Umbale, the next one you talk about St. Anthony, or you talk about Sorotios for the other side. So it should be that icon of the health service delivery in Eastern Uganda that we are looking up to. And I would want to thank everybody and still request that let's come and get this done. Thank you.
Wonderful final remarks there. Thank you so much, Dr. Henry Opolot, who is the chairperson of TADAL, and then Mr. Simon Peter Oboro, who is finance advisor. Thank you so much for spearheading this noble cause, and we wish all the best. We actually pray that we get all that money come the 10th of April.
And just Tadal, not to say Tadal, as you say, Toro Archdiocese, for emphasis, is people from Bukedi, Bugisu, and Sebei. That is Toro Archdiocese. I talk of Toro, the province, the ecclesiastical province starts from Jinja Diocese to Kotido. So I have Jinja, Tororo, Soroti, Moroto, Kotido forms the ecclesiastical province. The Toro itself is those regions, but we're inviting everybody throughout Uganda, people of goodwill, to come contribute to this effort.
Very nice. Thank you so much once again, Mr. Buru. Thank you so much.
It was a pleasure.
Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot.
And it has been really nice having you on the weekend edition as we are discussing the fundraising initiative of St. Anthony Hospital in Toro Archdiocese. I believe you and I can actually make a difference, not just for yourselves, for another generation maybe to come. You may not be the people to exactly enjoy this or to benefit from it, but maybe your generation, a generation to come, will actually be benefiting from the donations. And like we said, when you go to a hospital like St. Anthony Hospital, they don't ask you which religion are you or where are you from. All you come is seeking for health, health advice, or you need some patient care. And that is all that we are requesting. The people of Toro Archdiocese Development of Association are spearheading this initiative of renovating St. Anthony Hospital, and your contribution will make a huge difference. That's all that we had today. My name is Nora Sende. Until next Sunday, I'll see you.